Hey friends, and welcome back to Geeked on Big Brother, Episode 2, Return of the All-Stars.
Is this a Star Wars movie now, or what's going on here? So, tonight we're going to be talking about the first episode, our reactions to the new house, our reactions to the new cast, and we will be making our predictions for the seasons, what we think might happen, and we will pick winners later in the show. So, make sure you stick around for that. And just if you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, and get notifications of when our next episode drops. So let's start off at the beginning. New house.
Oh, the new house is so pretty, especially the outside. I really liked the colors that they used and how open it was. You notice how Julie was so far apart from them. I mean, I know she said she was, 12 feet apart or something.
Absolutely.
It looked further than that. I really liked the kitchen with all the graffiti art.
Absolutely. Particularly Dan's funeral. You gotta remember
Dan's
that
funeral.
great moment.
And I don't know if any of you here watched that. We watched it live on the feeds, and that was just an excellent, excellent moment in Big Brother history. I really like the HOH room with the ceiling, and it just looks like a penthouse loft, and I would love to stay there.
Absolutely.
And I loved how Bailey, of course, had to sleep right under his Swaggy's head.
I mean, come on, you had to see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should have seen that
coming. Okay, I'm not casting aspersions on their relationship, but they're a little ridiculous on TV. Like they're working really hard to convince people that it's real. I don't know why, but they go a little overboard.
We did get to see briefly the have-not room in the episode, so very briefly. Keith can't remember it. But I think it looked like kind of a swamp, but we're going to have to dig more into that when we actually get to see it.
Oh, it is a Star Wars movie. Cool. They're on Dagobah.
So far, let us know what your favorite room in the house is. I think that I'm kind of leaning towards the kitchen.
It's the kitchen.
Yeah.
It is the best kitchen since Big Brother 10. That diner kitchen was 50s. Awesome.
Yeah, I really liked that house. That for 10, it was just very homey, but
retro.
Yeah, it's a retro.
50s homemaker house. Yeah, it was a great look.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up Swaggy, which of course leads to Bailey being in the cast, and that's fine. Bailey, I understand second chance, but can we stop putting Swaggy on TV, please? Please? Okay. My instant reaction to the cast, though, was getting evicted 3 times makes you an all-star? We've got Kaser, who played 2 seasons.
What's up, Kaser?
Evicted 3 times without ever making it to jury. Every time he went out was because he trusted someone that he knew he couldn't trust. Okay. Also, Janelle, on her 4th attempt. If it takes you 4 times to win, you're not one of the greatest players of all time. I'm sorry, Boston Rob, that includes you.
Of course, it wasn't a prerequisite that you be one of the greatest players of all time to make it on this season, as is evident by some of the other cast members.
That was her own words. She thinks she's one of the greatest players of all time.
I'll try to make this a little bit more positive. I was super shocked and surprised to see Memphis walk in.
That was unbelievable. I did not see that coming, and I was so happy.
I'm very sad that we did not put him on our list, because we would have, but we really just didn't think it was possible.
Sure.
I am super geeked that Kevin's going to be on this season, and he is my sentimental favorite, and Kevin, yeah.
Well, we are fans of Kevin, as you probably know from our first episode if you listened. Um, I'm gonna hit one more negative point in the
Oh boy.
casting, and then I don't have a lot of negatives to say about anyone else or that need to be said. How deluded is Danny Donato?
Oh dear.
Standing there saying, I had such a great social game. This is a girl who was in the finals against someone who verbally berated, psychologically tortured, and in some cases physically harmed other contestants. They looked at the two of them and they said, not her.
She talks about, I believe it was in this season, she's talked about how she betrayed her alliance, and that is why she didn't get further in the last time she played. And there have been some things online that kind of said that she just got bored of waiting around for things to happen, which is why she betrayed them. So I'm interested to see if that Danny's going to be around, or if she's maybe gotten some patience.
I don't know, but
She did win a lot of competitions.
so we talked a lot about a lot of these people.
Yeah.
I mean, about half the cast
Right.
were in our dream cast. So we're just going to take a quick minute to hit some of the people that weren't in our original cast. We talked about Memphis already. David's kind of a surprise going out first.
Absolutely.
But there's a guy that needs to prove himself.
True.
And that could be interesting to watch. Enzo's back. Enzo's a character. He's kind of fun. I don't think he was the brains of the brigade. I don't think he was the brawn of the brigade. I'm not sure what he was in the brigade.
I think he's the one who sat in the room and said, maybe we should do this together. And let's call ourselves the brigade. I think that's who he was on that team. Maybe you could consider him maybe the heart of that team.
Yeah, that's fair. Ian's back. I'm not going to get super negative. You were carried to the end by the greatest player of all time.
He did win some competitions.
He won some comps. Yeah. Except for when you don't control the HOHs you won.
Yeah.
Did you really win?
Right.
Who else is back that we didn't talk about? Janelle. We talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Kaser, we talked about earlier. I throw a lot of knocks at Kaser. I always have. I'm actually happy to see him back. I do think Kaser's a great guy. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, and yes, and he is well liked, clearly well liked in the Big Brother community and by the Big Brother fans. That's why they keep bringing him back. I think we are gonna see something that hasn't ever happened before in Big Brother. We're gonna see Kaser make it to jury.
I do think that's quite the possibility. And let's see, we talked about Ian. Well, the other winner on the board.
Yeah.
Nicole F. is back. Let's face it, this is Grodner and Robin Cass pandering to their showman's crowd.
That could be. I mean, well, if you think about it, I did read an article that said that there will be allowed to have showmances in the era of COVID. I asked you earlier today, where's the showmance going to come from for this cast? And I just don't.
Well, I mean, Kevin and Casey. Well, no, that's not going to happen, is it?
Oh, stop.
I don't know. I think all the guys are married, right? Or
yeah.
dating someone.
Yeah, I think at least the majority of them. Maybe not David.
Yeah, David's the only one we don't know for sure about, I guess.
Yeah, well, when they went around and said how many of you are married and how many of you have kids, not every hand was up. So, for sure there were some that weren't married.
Aren't married, but are dating someone.
Maybe Nicole,
Anthony,
and David. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, who else is single? I don't know. What
Are any of the women single? I don't know. Nicole, maybe.
The article that came from was a Julie Chen saying that. So I'm wondering, I'm like, who is she thinking of? Julie.
Okay.
And it was good to see Julie back. I know it's been always the speculation of whether or not she'll return, so it was good for her to be back.
Yeah, we're always happy to have the Chen bot, or the Moonvest bot, or whatever bot we're calling her now. Julie Chen is a great TV host, for Big Brother in particular.
Let's take a minute and talk about the HOH competition, as it were. I thought that seemed like the first, they went in four sets of four,
Yeah.
and it seemed like the girls section of the four were harder. The ball was further away.
I don't think that's it. I think that the weight of the table was the thing that kept it off kilter. I think the men handled the weight of the table better generally, because if you look at someone like Christmas, Bailey, Janelle, they all did very well on the table. It's just they got towards the end and lost it over and over again.
Yeah.
And those are good physical competitors.
Right.
Well,
of
course, then you talk about the weight and you think Nicole Anthony made it to the second round.
Well, I mean, but it was the second round of guys who had the bathroom, which was in the upright corner. So, I mean, it was just not as far to go.
I guess that's true.
I mean, but how do you make that fair when you're doing different rooms?
Well, while we're talking fair, you have to win to get into that comp.
Right.
And then, if you don't win that comp, you have an 80% chance of getting punished for being in the comp.
Yeah.
Well, that's brutal.
That is brutal.
But congratulations, Christmas, on $5,000.
For real.
I hope it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
The card ended up hurting Memphis, so maybe.
Well, maybe it did hurt Memphis. We don't know.
Well,
maybe that's why
in the final vote. Next part. Generally, we would be plugging the Fantasy Big Brother game that we're playing. We are in the middle of the draft, literally right now in the middle of the draft. As we record this, waiting for someone to make their picks. I know I'm drafting 6th, Shannon is drafting 7th, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with those picks and who we end up with our 2 individual picks. You'll be able to see that come the next episode.
If you're interested in playing a Fantasy Big Brother game, we are playing we have played there for the last 3 years, fantasybb.com. So just a shout out to them.
And if you really want to play one, I'm not averse to adding another league. It's a one-time draft, and then, the game scores itself. It just gives you a little something extra to root for as you're watching the show.
That's it.
So if you want to play a Fantasy Big Brother game, drop a comment. And, if we get enough people, if we get 4 people, I'll set one up. Sure. If we get 8 people, I'll set one up. Other than those numbers, teams get uneven, but who cares? It's all for fun.
Yeah. And it is a lot of fun.
So like I said, drop a comment. We'll start a new one. It's good time. So next thing we're going to talk about is the season. What's going to happen? Where do we see this game going? And of course, we're going to make some picks for winners here at the end.
Yeah.
So, Shan, what's something you see happening? Something interesting, something dynamic that's going to happen. Now, we know you think Casey's going to get to jury, finally. I agree with you there. I think he's going to be around a while.
Yeah, I think he's probably earned it, and as far as, I think that's what everyone will think anyway. That they'll say, we can't get rid of him right now, we have to at least let him get to jury. I think that's what's going to happen. Okay. I think, if we want to talk gameplay, I think that the winners will probably go sooner rather than later. But we'll see. You
We'll
know.
see. I do agree on Ian.
Yeah.
Just on some conversations I've seen
Mm.
today, or read about today, he does not seem to be very well liked amongst alumni. No one seems to talk to him. So, Ian may have a tough road ahead of him. Um,
I.
the thing I'm looking forward to, and they sort of plugged into it during the show, was Renegades versus Hitmen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen. We're going to see Cody and Memphis at war at some point this season. And it's going to be interesting.
Well, yeah, I do think that's probably possible unless they align. One of the things that you said while we were watching the episode was if
God, they would be dangerous
they would be
together.
super dangerous together, and they really should. They should make a secret alliance. How awesome would that be? You know, but all we can do from here is just sit here and like maybe send some everybody think the same thoughts and maybe they'll pick it up, but you also have the problem of two competitive guys, and well, you know,
It's happened before.
this happened before.
But for the first time, if the season goes men versus women, I'm giving the women the advantage over the men this season.
Yeah, it does seem like there could be a Power Girls alliance there.
There's Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
There's Janelle's always a threat. Danny's kind of a threat. Keisha was a good competitor. Both Nicole's were.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. No, that's true.
The thing that I do see coming this season, I do see David getting some redemption. I see David going a long way in this game. Maybe not to the end, but I see him going for quite a while. Some of that's going to be the fact that he's not going to be an immediate target in a room with
a bunch of threats.
Tyler and Cody
Known
and Memphis,
yeah.
Ian.
It's really going to be, we don't really know a lot about him, so it's going to be about how he plays this game. I mean, if he gets into it and he starts being cocky, if he starts, I don't know, and why we would be with all these people who've played and almost won, or won, but it doesn't strike me as that type, but, you know, it's possible.
We'll see how it goes.
We don't know.
All right, well, now's the time. We've got to do it. We've got to pick a winner day one. We do it amongst ourselves every year.
Yeah.
This time we're putting it out there in the public. You'll hear our picks right now.
And I will say, so you don't have to, that you were very good at picking the winner.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I did hit Casey right off the bat. She was for Big Brother 20, my instant reaction was Casey was strong. Last year my pick was Holly. She finished second.
Yeah.
So.
And I am the opposite. So, that's okay.
Yeah. Last year was, it was a weird one. Yeah. I thought Brett would be much stronger, but.
He still pulled it out.
Okay. Not Jackson.
Oh, Jackson was last year. No, I was thinking
Maybe
Casey.
Brett was earlier. Maybe I'm getting...
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Maybe I'm getting someone confused. Jack. That's it. I'm getting Jack and Brett confused. Name problems. I apologize for that. Alright, so... Shan, who's your pick?
Well, I'm going to go with my heartfelt pick. I'm going to go with Kevin, of course. Kevin for the win.
Oh, I know you want to manifest it. I know you want it to happen.
We're going to positive think this into happening.
Yeah, I love Kevin. I want to pick him. I really do. I can't do it. I have looked at this cast and I have thought about the way this game can go, and I keep landing in the same place every time. Luchasaurus wins this season.
No. No.
No Luchasaurus?
We have not seen him appear yet. He must still be in quarantine.
You say there's a swamp in the house. Prehistoric 7-foot reptile You'd find him in a swamp. All right, fine. I will not take.
Well, you heard it here first. Luchasaurus is going to win this season.
All right, I will change my pick. I will not take Luchasaurus. I'm going to take Nicole Anthony. I think she played really well,
Yeah.
barring one mistake. I think a lot of these people watched her and felt bad for her. And I think they might underestimate how much of a threat she is. So I'm going with Nicole Anthony to win.
We'll see. There's something about her that there was something. I mean, gosh, my memory is not that great about it, but it seems like I remember her getting a little power and the power going to her head. So if something happens where she gets power, but hey.
Who stays on the list if we roll them out for that?
That's true.
All right. Well, you've heard our picks. If you think we're right, let us know. If you think we're wrong, let us know. Who's your pick?
Let us know in the comments below who your pick is to win Big Brother 22.
Or just anything you want to talk about, Big Brother.
True.
We'll respond. We love Big Brother. We talk Big Brother amongst each other.
Enough.
A lot. We love to hear outside other opinions that aren't in this house all the time. So I hope we hear from you. We're going to be back probably after the next episode. I'm not going to say Sunday night because I'm pretty sure it's at 10 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah, it's at 10.
So maybe Monday night we'll have a new episode. Might be Tuesday. We'll see how the week gets started. Until then, as always, here's your reminder.
Be excellent to each other. And
Game on! Game on! Game on!